This was an uncensored version of these 2 episodes of South Park. In these episodes, celebrities like Tom Cruise want to put an end to the show, so they use the Prophet Muhammad as they see the figure above ridicule.
Spin Master Mugen.
And now, Astrology with Squidward.
Today, we explore Sagittarius, sign of the, half horse, half guy with a bow and arrow. The good thing about Sagittarians, they have great aim. The bad thing about them, they poop while they're walking. So never march behind them in a parade. My prediction for Sagittarius in the coming year, you won't eat enough green vegetables. I'm Squidward, your Nicktoon astrologer, reminding you that if you smelt it, chances are you dealt it.
This was a lost Nickelodeon movie about a guitarist who gets rid of rats in a town named Hamlin. When he isn't rewarded, he convinces the kids of the town to run away with him and join him on a mountain. The movie was lost for decades, and this is the timeline of it. In 2016, an anonymous user got a VHS copy of the film, but it was deinterlaced. In 2019, the soundtrack was found by Synth Commando. In 2020, the underscore and original soundtrack was found. In 2021, another version of the movie was found. This was a 91-minute film released in 2006 that adapted the first part of Hirohiko Araki's long-running manga series, Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. It was only shown publicly in Japanese theaters. Possible reasons for its disappearance include a religious controversy the studio dealt with over its OVA adaptation of Stardust Crusaders. This would lead the studio to losing the Jojo license and poor reception of the film.
It was just a publicity stunt for a TV cartoon show, but the discovery of 9 suspicious electronic devices triggered a giant scare across the city of Boston today. Eyewitness News reporter Rob Hayes is live in Burbank to tell us what those devices turned out to be. Rob?
Well, Michelle, the folks here at Cartoon Network, or more specifically Turner Broadcasting, which owns Cartoon Network, they have a lot of explaining to do. What was supposed to be a marketing stunt is now being blamed for that terrorist scare in Boston. At least 9 devices were found planted throughout the city in Boston in sensitive areas. Authorities say they look like circuit boards with wires hanging from them. The first one was spotted in a subway station under the 93 freeway, forcing a shutdown of the station and the interstate. Others were found at the Boston University Bridge, the Tufts New England Medical Center, and other spots around the city. Bomb squad members were rushed to the scenes and eventually determined those devices were fake. Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick clearly upset in a news conference, saying it's a hoax and it's not funny. Now, Turner Broadcasting today released this statement. The packages in question are magnetic lights that pose no danger. We regret that they were mistakenly thought to pose any danger. Now, this is what the devices look like: electronic circuit boards with battery-operated flashing lights. Turner says they were part of a third-party advertising campaign from a New York ad agency. They were supposed to promote a late-night cartoon called Aqua Teen Hunger Force. It airs on Cartoon Network's Adult Swim lineup, and a feature-length film is due out in March based on that cartoon. Now, Turner says similar devices have been in place and planted in 9 other major cities all across the United States, but the Department of Homeland Security says it has no credible reports of any of those packages being spotted in any major cities outside of Boston. Reporting live in Burbank, Rob Hayes, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Okay, Rob, thanks.
Boston's police commissioner defending his reaction to a so-called bomb scare. It happened yesterday after a bunch of strange electronic devices were found stashed around town. Police shut down large sections of the city until they found out it was all a promotional prank for the Cartoon Network. Today, the guys accused of planting the devices pleaded not guilty to disorderly conduct. Then they stumped reporters.
I feel like my hair is pretty perfect, but altogether I want to redirect this onto the topic of haircuts in the 70s because I want to educate myself about it a little bit more.
Turner Broadcasting, which owns the Cartoon Network, has apologized for the promotion. It also included several other cities like L.A., where the items were removed without incident.
Police say they're responsible for causing a climate of fear in Boston, Los Angeles, and several other cities this week. And tonight, these 2 suspects seem to have no problem mocking their right to remain silent.
These guys are not taking us seriously.
Yeah, I really feel like we're not getting the feedback.
Yeah, we're not getting the feedback that we need from you guys. If you really want to talk to us, please talk to us about the topic.
I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
Tonight, we hear from the 2 suspects about a promotional stunt that went very wrong and learn more about the very real trouble they're in. CBS 2's Mark Coogan is live with the story. Mark.
Paul, in Boston, they're certainly not interested in talking about hairstyles of the 70s. Boston officials want Turner Broadcasting, the parent of Cartoon Network, to pay up for the chaos yesterday. Turner has apologized, but said some of the electric signs in question were up and visible for 2 to 3 weeks. And the 2 guys who apparently put the signs up look like they are on their way to achieving cult status, much like the cartoon series they were promoting. The 2 defendants were clowning in a Boston area courtroom today, but authorities there were in earnest about yesterday's mess following a Cartoon Network publicity campaign that evoked fears of terrorism. Electronic signs that had been surreptitiously placed around Boston featuring an irreverent cartoon character triggered one bomb scare after another, anger and some panic among the public, blistering condemnations from politicians, and charges of placing a hoax device and disorderly conduct against 2 guerrilla admin who pleaded not guilty in court and then walked out on $2,500 bail.
Yeah, rock on. Peace.
The Cartoon Network ad campaign aimed to place the electric signs in 10 cities, including Los Angeles. But by the time word got here yesterday, the threat had passed, so the LAPD turned the hunt into a training exercise, searching around 50 locations on the west side, but coming up empty.
We never found any of these devices, at least so far, but that may be the case that they were never even ever put up, or they've been since taken down.
Execute.
Meanwhile, in other advertising missteps, last year's campaign to promote the movie Mission Impossible 3 has the federal government threatening to sue Paramount Pictures and the Los Angeles Times. Sometimes news racks were fitted with devices that played the Mission Impossible theme song. Some people mistook the devices for bombs. In one instance, a bomb scare forced the evacuation of the West LA Veterans Affairs Hospital. The feds estimated the cost of that at around $93,000. We've all heard them, all publicity is good publicity, and just spell my name right. They're old adages in the entertainment industry. They never were literally true, and they certainly were coined before 9/11. Live on the Sunset Strip, Mark Coogan, CBS 2 News, back to you.
PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye made the second season of Scare PewDiePie, but it was never released due to the controversy Felix garnered when he made the Fiverr video, among other things. PewDiePie claimed to have the episodes, but he said he couldn't upload them due to legal reasons. This was revealed after a tweet saying that he would upload the first episode if he got 100,000 retweets. The only thing that remains are the trailers for the show. This was Zack Snyder's lost cut of the Justice League before he gave it to Joss Whedon. Speculation of its existence started off as a rumor on Twitter, but then Zack Snyder confirmed its existence. Warner Brothers eventually gave him some money to work on the rough cut of his version of Justice League, and on April 2021, he uploaded on HBO Max. On April 2021, Zack Snyder eventually uploaded his film on HBO Max. The original cut of Fritz Lang's science fiction masterpiece was lost, and parts of it are still missing to this day. Lang cut the movie to lower the runtime from 2 hours and 30 minutes to 1 hour and 30 minutes because he was concerned that it wouldn't be watched by the common audience. A nearly complete copy of the original cut was found in Argentina in 2008. I wonder why. However, the film was horribly damaged, and it took years of restoration to get 90% of the film to a presentable state. In response to the film The Day After, Mr. Rogers would make a 4-part episode about the Cold War. The neighborhood of make-believe nearly went to war based on paranoia that one side had bombs. The entire story arc would later be pulled due to events at the time, never to air again. Over time, the episodes would be uploaded to YouTube, and they would be restored to a decent quality. KidsTube was like YouTube Kids, only it was actually good. It was a space for kids to upload videos that they wanted, without being at risk at watching something that isn't safe for work or safe for life. I mean, in theory, there is like a picture of Team Fortress 2. Eventually, KidsTube was shut down due to overwhelming costs to keep the site running, and the creator thought it was too much effort to keep it running as well. Star Fox 2 was a planned sequel to the original Star Fox. It was quietly cancelled due to hardware limitations, and Argonaut Studios focusing more on Star Fox 64. For a long time, no one knew what happened to the game. It was later discovered that the game was complete from a programming standpoint. ROMs of the game would later come and go, and the ROM that's currently available today is the final beta. This was an incomplete sequel to Super Mario World, the CDI game, by Nova Logic. It was cancelled due to how bad the predecessor was. It was left incomplete. There are 3 types of ROMs for the game. They have been available for some time, though they are all only prototypes. The prototypes that have been found have many glitches. Tom Kenny and other voice actors of SpongeBob have said there is an uncensored version of Sailor Mouth, but that it is lost deep within Nickelodeon's archives. However, this is just word of mouth.
Sailor Mouth? You know what? When we recorded that, that's the one where SpongeBob and Patrick learn a word that's written on the back of the wall. So we were supposed to be recording that, and swearing without really swearing is hard, because they would just say ad-lib almost swearing. SpongeBob and Patrick ad-lib fake swearing. And then we were like, this is too hard. Could we just really, really cuss, and then you guys just bleep it out later? And Clancy Brown, Mr. Krabs, like, I'm all for that. Listen to the 4-eyed fellow, he makes sense. So that's what we did. So listening to Patrick and Squidward and Mr. Krabs really drop those bombs. Maybe the funniest thing in the world, and also something you will never be allowed to hear, ever. Nickelodeon has that buried in deep in a pit in the middle of the earth somewhere.
There are early builds and betas of Roblox, but they have been lost to time. Specifically, builds earlier than 2007 have been lost and not archived in any shape or form. Even at that, the earliest build was only found on a hard drive in 2021, and it took a miracle to recover it and put it on GitHub. Here's what we know about the game. Builds of the game before 2010 were not archived and are hard to find for this reason. A patent in 2005 suggests a build of the game around that time, if not slightly later. It seems like Disney isn't the only one canceling their projects. Larrikins is an animated comedy musical that was, at one point, a DreamWorks animation in development. It was announced in 2013 and it was based on an original story by screenwriter Harry Cripps. It told the story of a bilby named Perry who leaves home alongside a red kangaroo to travel across the Australian outback. It's likely that Comcast's acquisition of DreamWorks had something to do with its cancellation. It would later become a short film called Bilby, and it was uploaded on YouTube. The full film is lost